Welcome back to the Immigration Answer Show. My name is Jim Hacking. This is episode number 640 of the Immigration Answer Show. Before I begin, Ernesto, I see you in the waiting room. I'm not going to call on you because you have sent stuff to the office for actual consideration for representation, so I cannot talk to you about your case on camera. How's everybody doing? What's going on? Kamala Hart. I would agree. Kamala Hart. Thank you, Ross Dickinson. Have I been this excited about a presidential candidate in a long time? No, I have not. Do I think she's going to win? I don't know. But I know Joe Biden wasn't going to win. So now I'm happy. Now I feel like we have a fighting chance. I think people are excited. She's raised over $100 billion in less than 48 hours. It's absolutely insane. I've never seen anything like it since 2008 when President Obama raised a ton of money with small donations. I think if you watch the Republicans and Trump, they're squealing like stuck pigs because they're so upset that Biden got out. Think of all those assholes that had the boxes full of "Let's Go Brandon" and "F Joe Biden" T-shirts, yard signs. That stuff's all worthless now. All the Oppo research, all the negative ads they were going to run, it's all going in the trash. How's everybody doing? Let's see who's here today. Emmanuel is here. It is Taco Tuesday per Old Creaky Bones. Hope is here, as she often is from Florida. Ali says hello. The link is coming. Good evening from London. Hina is here. Gabriella's in Steele, Missouri. I don't know where Steele, Missouri is. I know where Steeleville is. I don't know where Steele is. Let's see. Robert is here. Hello, Robert. Jay Cruz checking in from North Dakota. 100% humidity with no rain in sight. That's the worst. I'm so sick of humidity. I just hate humidity. I know it's important, but man, it's no fun. Alejandra is here. Christine is here. Maggie says hello. Michael says hello from Salt Lake City, Utah. Anna Watkins. Searing is here. Rocio says hello. Munther is here. Maggie. Lynn. Jay Cruz. Alejandra's representing the Chicago suburbs. If you didn't know, Christian's here. It is indeed Taco Tuesday per Nurse Laura. It's not often you can get a chalupa and visit where you got married, but Nurse Laura pulls that off whenever she pulls into the drive-thru. Junie is here. Tarek is here. Schmikensky's here. Wow, we got a full house today. Some fool Alphonse Mendy is saying, let's go, Brendan. Brent is here. Hello, Brent. My best friend, BDS. Caroline is here. Vancouver in the house. Hello, Avneet. Yeah, that's right, Junie. They wanted Biden to stay so they could win, and now they're missing out, and they don't know what to do. They don't know how to attack her. There's going to be all kinds of racist stuff. That asshole J.D. Vance said, well, when I hear Kamala talk, I don't hear her show the gratitude that she should. Now, I don't know if that's directed to the fact of trying to make her to be an uppity black woman or to say she's not sufficiently grateful for being the children of immigrants. But that guy's just a big fat liar. He had an ad blaming illegal aliens for his mother's drug addiction when in fact she was popping pills that she stole from her job and had nothing to do with illegal aliens. Rocio, you need to do something about that. J.D. Vance, we're going to put you in charge of Ohio. He's just a real shitbird. There are a lot of people watching. Minneapolis is here. Brent says Texas. Oh, so Steele is 16 miles from Kennett. Okay, I know Kennett. All right, and Gabriella is out running FedEx. Well, Gabriella, if you haven't gotten your green card yet, that would be good evidence. The two of you tooling around like our friend Matt, getting that out into the public, that would be good stuff. Fredericksburg, Virginia. All right, Fredericksburg. Hi, Vishnu. All right, I think we've said enough hellos for today. It's good to see everybody. I'm going to go to Christian first because I always feel bad. Christian always calls me driving in the car. Wait, is he driving now? I thought he was parked. Are you parked, Christian? 2 minutes. Okay. All right. I'll go to Cheeto first, and then I'll go to Christian. Hello, Cheeto.
Hello, how are you?
Are you driving?
Yes.
Oh, I can't talk to you when you're driving. I'll come back. Shaw is here. Hello, Shaw.
Hi Jim, how are you doing?
Great. How are you doing?
All well, doing great. I am just here to know about my options. I'm here in USA on B1, B2 visa.
Okay.
My daughter is a US citizen, like she was born back September 2022. And I have couple of options. Like there is one employer who is willing to give me like a work offer as well, job offer. And I have a like degree equivalency certificate also from University of Toronto, back equivalent to my country degree. So I want to know what options I need to proceed with to get my change of status quickly and then go ahead for my green card and the rest of the process. My wife and me both are on B1, B2 visa here along with our daughter.
You can't do that here. You're not going to be able to do that here. The wait for a work green card is like 4 years. You wouldn't. You have to be in status the whole time. So you can't just come on a visit visa and then get a work visa and stay. That's not how it works.
Okay, so what do you think? What kind of options I need to proceed with? What will be
What's
the
your
better options?
What's your work or educational background?
So I have done MBA, Executive Master in Business Administration, and I am like a chief executive for a company in Dubai for like it's my fourth year of with that, and one before like I have an experience of 5 years as a project manager with a corporate company called Cortec Corporation. It's an American-based company, but the sister concern was in Dubai for that. So I have an accounting background as well. I have like the experience of almost 15 years.
Mhm. So what I would do if I were you, I mean, it's going to be really hard to convince an American employer to go through the costs and hassle of sponsoring you for a green card. Like I said, it's going to be a 2, 3, or 4 year wait. It's going to cost them twice as much as it would cost to hire an American. To think that you're going to be able to convince a company to do that while you're here on a visit and then go back and try to, I just don't see it happening. If I were you, what I would be focusing on is either coming to the United States and getting another degree, which, isn't working. You can work 20 hours a week on campus, but that's not going to pay your bills. Um, and then trying to get OPT and an H-1B. But to think that you can come on a visit and jump to an employment green card, it's just not going to happen.
That is fine. Like, I just want to understand that, for example, if I came and I have an opportunity of getting a job offer, then can I proceed with change of status or I
No,
can't?
you can't. No.
Okay.
What's the job?
It's like, there is a chain of Super 8 motel by Wyndham. They want to put me in on whatever the designation I need, like, for example, a hotel manager or something like according to my degree.
Do you have experience running a hotel?
Yeah, I do have.
Okay, so let's walk through that. So option A would be an H-1B. That's a temporary visa that lets you work in the United States for up to 6 years.
Okay.
Couple problems with that. H-1Bs become available every year in October, and all of this year's H-1Bs are already gone. There's a lottery. 500,000 people applied for 85,000 spots.
Okay.
So even if you had an employee, I mean, and then the other big problem is hotel manager isn't really a specialty occupation. So I don't think the job would even qualify for an H-1B because there's lots of people managing hotels that don't have a specific degree. So I don't think an H-1B is going to work.
Okay.
And so then the next thing would be the best thing would probably be an employment based green card in the EB3 category. What country are you from?
I'm from Pakistan.
So the employer would have to go through the perm process. They'd have to figure out what the prevailing wage is. They'd have to promise you to pay that. They'd have to post the job and see if any Americans apply for the job. Then they'd have to wait for a visa to become available. And right now it's like a 3 or 4 year wait. So none of this is going to be happening fast. And I think it's a real long shot, even if you have an employer that really wants to help you.
So what option I have? Like, what
You
option
don't.
I'm left
You
with?
don't. You don't.
Even the student visa, like I want to stay here in USA, and then after change of status, I mean, if I need to leave, I can leave. But
Okay, so trying to change a visit visa to an F1 is risky because it could take 7, 8 months and it could get denied. So you promised that you were going to leave after 6 months. Once you start messing around with that, you're just setting yourself up for lots of problems.
No, I can go back, but if there is an option, I can explore even after that. I mean,
Yeah, I told you it's employment, it's asylum if you fear going back home, it's diversity visa, which Pakistan's not eligible for, or it's employment, family employment, asylum, and that's it. That's all there is.
okay. And what will be the process of H-1B in my case if you think that this is the only option I'm left with?
So if you can find an employer who's going to spend the money to sponsor you for an H-1B for a job that qualifies, and again, hotel manager doesn't qualify, next April of or March of 2025, they could try to get you into the lottery for the following October.
And what occupation do you think is the best in like hotel management
It's not a specialty occupation.
There's nothing. And there is
If
any
you
other,
have
like,
an
for
MBA,
example,
if you have an MBA, I'd be looking for a job. I mean, MBAs are a dime a dozen. It's hard to get an H-1B for, for a business degree. Those are just hard to get.
and my ex-employer, sorry to interrupt you, my ex-employer, like Cortec Corporation, is a corrosion protection company who works in oil and gas industry and everything. I used to work with them like for 4 or 5 years back in Dubai. I can approach them and I can get a specialty or like occupation. I mean, that's how I can proceed, or it will be like a preservation specialist or a corrosion protection sales representative. Or
I don't know. I'm gonna let you go, Shaw. Good luck, my friend.
okay, thank you.
Hey, buddy.
Thank you very
Yep,
much.
you got it. All right, Cheeto pulled over. Hi, Cheeto.
Hello, how are you?
Great. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I have a couple questions, two questions actually. So my dad has a green card holder, and we want to do an extension
Who's a green
for
who's a
him.
green who's a green card holder?
My dad.
Your dad.
Yes, I have a green card. I sponsored him, so he's going back to Zimbabwe, and usually he he comes back within a year. So we want to do an extension. Can he do an extension to
An
stay over?
extent. So when did he first get a green card?
Uh, uh, actually, I think I just know it's expiring next year in September.
No, 2026.
2026.
Yeah.
That's when it's expiring.
Yeah, March 2026.
26 or 2025. Okay. Oh, okay. So about 2016. That's when he got the green card.
So he can't file for an extension yet because it doesn't expire until 2 years from now.
What about when he goes to Zimbabwe? Yeah, because usually if he comes back within a year, it doesn't expire. He's been able to do that. But I understand if he's gonna go for more than a year, you need to file some form for extension. So
It's not called for extension. It's called a reentry permit. So that allows him to stay out of the country for 2 years. So the form is an I-131, and there's different parts to it. And the part he wants is the reentry permit.
that's what I just fill out. And okay, do you know how long usually it takes to come back? Does it have to come back before you leave?
I would say if he's going to be gone for a long time, it's best to get it before he leaves, and it can take 7, 8, 9 months.
Oh, to do that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can he do it from Zimbabwe to do an
No.
extension? No, yes.
No. In theory, what we used to do is we would say, Dad, file for the reentry permit, wait for them to schedule you for fingerprints,
Mm-hmm.
and then once the fingerprints are done, then he could go, and when it comes, you send it to him. Now that's a little bit risky. We don't do that as much as we used to, but there are still people that try it that way.
Oh, that way. Okay. All right. That sounds good. I think those are the two questions that I have.
Thanks, Cheeto.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Okay, bye. All right. I never know when someone says they're Cheeto if they're trying to troll me on old Trump, because that's what I call him sometimes, Cheeto. Hey, Brent, I forgot to tell you, I stayed home today, everybody, because I had a beef brisket I had to smoke. So I just took it off right before. It's been cooking since 5 this morning. So I hope it didn't cook too fast, but it seems really tender. So that's pretty exciting. Brent's always nervous about the beef brisket, but I always want him to do it. I want him to try. Henry, hello. You're on mute or something. I can't hear you.
Oh, hi, Mr. Hacking. I've been watching your show. And yeah, I'm good. How about you?
Great.
Yeah, I just have a quick question. So my spouse is an F1 student, and she had OPT before, but like she kept working after the OPT expired for like 2 years.
That's fun.
Yeah, and then she's still going to school at the same time as of now, as of what I know for now.
Yeah.
So is she gonna be in trouble when when I submit the petition for her?
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yeah.
No. So she won't get in trouble as long as you tell the truth about it. So list every job, list every dollar
Yes.
she earned. Don't leave anything out. It's all forgiven.
Okay. So do
Um,
I need to submit? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
you're good.
Oh yeah. So do I need to ask her to submit all the tax documents that she's been paying for all those years, even when she's working unauthorized?
In theory, they could ask her for them, but they won't.
But they won't. So we wouldn't need to submit those the tax documents then.
No.
Okay. Okay. So I just proceed normally, just as a normal case.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Bye, Henry. See you, buddy.
Yes. See you.
All right. That was our friend Henry. Hello, Jay. You're on mute.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, indeed, I can.
Good to see you again live. I've been following you for a couple of years now. Just very quick, I don't know how to start, but I had my US citizen interview April 10. And then I passed the civic test, but the officer said she won't give the decision yet, and she got 120 days. I've been so sleepless here in Seattle, where I am now.
I see what you did there.
So, and based on the status, it says 18 days left.
So in 18 days, you'll be past 120 days.
Yes.
So let's try to figure out what might be wrong. So where are you from, Jay?
Philippines.
When did you come to the United States?
September 2014.
What kind of a visa did you have when you came in September of 2014?
B1, B2.
And then what happened after that?
I have a sponsor from my dad, so I came from Canada also. Well, we were used to work. And then Canada's too cold for me. I can't bear it. So I thought I would I can just wait for my dad's petition. That's why I went here. And then I had a divorce, got married in 2017. Didn't have my job, but I was supported by my sister and by my dad.
So you were, when you entered the United States in 2014, you were married to someone in Canada or in the Philippines?
I was here in Vegas, so I moved to Vegas for 8 years. So I got married there with a U.S. citizen, and then it didn't work out, so we got divorced. But I already had the 10-year visa, a 10-year permanent
Resident card.
Yeah, and then it was my 5th year last November last year.
Okay.
I
So
applied online there, and it goes from
is
there.
that your only marriage, is just to the person in Las Vegas?
Yes,
And you were married for a long time, it sounds like.
since 2017.
And if USCIS came and knocked on that person's door and said, "Hey, was your marriage to Jay real or fake?" What would they say?
For real, yeah.
If they said, "Do you think Jay married you just to get a green card, or that Jay really loved you?" What would they say?
For love, for
Okay.
real love.
Okay. And then, so I was a little, so you're saying that when you came on your visit visa, you came through Canada, like you'd been in Canada for a while, and then you came to the United States?
I had a work visa there in Edmonton.
A work visa in Canada, that as a Philippine native, you, on your Philippine passport, you got a work visa to be in Edmonton, Canada.
Yes. I've
And
been
then
there maybe almost a year.
Then you said this shit's cold, and you came to the United States on a visit visa. So when you married the person in Las Vegas, were you past your 6 months? Were you out of status when you got married to that person?
Yeah.
Okay. What happened at your citizenship interview? Did anything unusual happen? Did they ask you any questions about anything?
It was first. It was she was nice, but when I got into her office, after doing the application,
The test.
reading, and then she asked me to do the pledge, and then she started asking who am I with. I told her I'm just by myself, and then she started to be rude to me. It was unpleasant.
Tell me, like what?
Like, why did you divorce too early, like that? And then I said,
Hmm.
we had a disagreement.
Yeah.
So what in my mind, what can I do?
How long after you got your, well, when you got your conditional green card, or had anybody already filed for divorce, or was the divorce after you applied and received the 10-year green card?
After
So, so how long after you got your green card did somebody file for divorce?
I filed for it,
And how long after you got your 10-year green card did you file for divorce?
maybe wait 2021 August. I got the 10-year, and then I filed January 2022.
Okay. And was your interview for citizenship in Vegas or somewhere else?
Oh, I moved here to Washington
State?
to
Washington State?
with my dad and my sister.
Was the divorce in Nevada or was the divorce in Washington?
Nevada.
Okay. And if you had to guess, do you think the officer was a new officer or an old officer?
I can't tell, but her office is quite some time already, maybe because there's so much books in it. And
Right.
if it's new, not much books in it.
That's a good way to test. Yeah, that's a good way to test.
She wasn't welcoming when I got to the door, unlike the other applicants. They would an officer would approach the applicant,
I mean,
but her,
you
she was
never
behind the door. Like,
know, but you
what
never
are
know.
you doing there?
We've had officers who just get mad that people get divorced, right? Like they're just weird about that, right? So, um, had you, before you got your visit visa to come to the United States, had you ever applied for a different visa to the United States?
I had my petition from my dad, 2009.
The I-130.
Yeah,
The thing okay, so that's a good question. So when you applied for your visit visa
visa has been there for me since I was still in the Philippines.
so before your dad filed for the I-130,
I think I had that already. Yeah,
did you
it
have to
was a
renew,
10-year visa, multiple.
did you have to renew it or no?
No. I
Oh,
had twice because the first one was only 1 year, and then I applied again. Then they gave me 10-year.
got it. So you think you had the 10-year green card before dad filed the I-130?
Not yet. My dad's approval came in 2020.
Yeah,
I
but
was already married
when did he
since
file it?
2017,
When did he file the I-130?
2009,
And when did you get your 10-year visa?
2021.
No, your 10-year visa. Your 10-year visa.
Oh
to
yeah,
come-
my B1 B2.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't recall.
Well, was it before? So here's why I asked. This is why I'm asking Jay. So now on the DS-160, I don't know about back when you got your 10-year visa to come from the Philippines. Now they ask you, has anyone filed an I-130, an immigrant visa petition for you? Right?
During the 10-year multiple, it
Yeah.
was asked. Have anyone petitioned you? Yes, my dad.
You said yes.
Yes,
Okay, good. How about
I
one last
remember
thing?
that question.
Good. One last thing. Any crimes? Anything? Any criminal problems?
No.
Okay.
During the
So
interview, I think more than 50 times she asked that. I told her no.
good.
Consistently, no. There is
So
none.
if I were you, Jay, on day 121, I would hire us to sue them to get you a decision because she might just sit on it forever. If you don't have a decision, after 120 days, then I would sue them.
That's why when I saw your notes in one of your clips,
Yep.
yeah, and so I mean it's been counting. I didn't receive any RFE from them. I mean, if they have questions, they could send RFE.
Yeah.
She mentioned that before I left her room, her office.
That she might send an RFE.
Yeah, she did. And then it's been almost 120 days, no RFE.
Well, if you hit 120 days, shoot me an email and we'll go from there. Okay.
Yes, I will.
All right, buddy.
Can you do Washington State?
Oh, sure. We do all. We have local council. We do them in all 50 states.
Right. Can you what do you think? Why is it?
Why? I don't know. You haven't told me anything that worries me. I feel good. I feel good. It seems like she probably wanted to check on the divorce. She probably thought you filed for divorce pretty quickly after you got the 10-year green card. If the divorce was in King County and in Washington, she might have gone and done some work to try to find the wife. But if it's in Nevada, she probably didn't feel like working on it too much. So I think it's just dragging ass.
Okay.
See you, buddy.
Thanks so much. Have a
Bye,
good
Jay.
day.
Yep. All right, Christian, I forgot about you. There you are, buddy. Sorry about that.
I was a little bit worried, Jim.
All right, buddy. Oh, you know what happened was you were down on the second. I have 2 lines of people, so you were down on the second line.
Okay. Yeah, I just got here to the CVS.
Nice. What's up?
So far, so good, Jim. What about you?
I'm great. I'm talking to you. I'm having a good day. Had a good day. I worked from home today, like I said. Tomorrow I have to go get my new driver's license, so that's always an adventure. But yeah, it's all good. How about you?
2 days ago in the DMV renewing mine with the work permit.
Good.
So my wife entered back the country with her advanced parole because I don't know if you remember, she traveled to Cuba because her father died about cancer. So they let her back in the United States without an issue, thanks God. And that's one of my questions. We're having the interview next Thursday, so 2 days from now. She's gonna have any problems about her leaving the country and then coming back with this advanced parole permit?
She did have advanced parole, or she did not have advanced parole?
No, she had an advanced parole permit.
Oh yeah, no, sure, she should be okay.
Okay. The date that is gonna be in her residence is gonna be last week when she entered, or 2 years ago when she entered the country under Cuban adjustment.
The date on her green card?
Yeah.
The date on the green card, generally, I don't know about Cuban cases, but generally the date on the green card is the date they approve it, not anything to do with when you entered or when you traveled. I don't know about Cuban cases.
Oh, because I've been reading that under Cuban adjustment is gonna be the day she entered the United States.
So they'd probably be the last one, not the new one.
Okay.
I could check if you email me. I could check that. That's something that would be good for me to know.
Okay. One of the questions that they ask in the interviews that have we ever worked without a work permit? We answered no in the questionnaire, but do you think we should just keep it with the no or yes? Because obviously we've been working for these 2 years, just trying to live here, because life here is really expensive.
Yeah. Well,
What do you think?
if you worked, you should say yes.
Even if we just get our work permit 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, you got to tell the truth.
Okay. So she is the Cuban. I married her because this is a Cuban my adjustment of status is based under a Cuban Adjustment Act.
Right.
Is she gonna get the I'm getting the conditional residence and she's getting the permanent residence, or how this works, or you're not so familiar with Cuban adjustments?
I'm not. I could look it up though. If you seriously, if you email me these questions, I'll answer them tomorrow. I can. It's all in my book. I just need to look it up.
Understood, Jim. Yeah. So, what's the best email for you?
info@hackingimmigrationlaw.com.
Understood, Jim. Thank you so
Is your
much.
interview in 2 days or 9 days?
2 days. It's gonna be next Thursday.
Okay, yeah, I'll check it tomorrow when I get to the office.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much for your help. Enjoy your biscuit.
Bye, Christian. See you, buddy. All right, let's go to Theron. Theron, are you there? Hello? Hello, Theron. You're not on mute. I think you might be gone. All right. Monzier, Monzir, hello.
Hi there, Jim. How you doing?
Great. How are you doing?
I'm doing amazing. Just want to let you know that your show is the best form of entertainment. Gym, studying. If people are rocking music, I'm rocking your show. That's
Oh my
for
God.
sure.
I can't study with people talking. I gotta. Why do you find it entertaining? What do you find entertaining about the show?
I think the best part is when you get mad at people. Honestly. I just love it.
People do like it when I
And and I remember the episode numbers too. Like every single episode number you snapped, I probably remember that. Awesome. So I got a couple questions for you, and they're a bit of a doozy. So please bear with me a little. I have a friend from Gaza, Palestine, and he came to the States in the early 90s with his mom. He was about 3 years old. So the story goes they were supposed to fly to Colombia on a visitor's visa on their Palestinian passports, but they transited in Miami, interestingly enough, and they claimed asylum there. They got their green cards. Apparently, it was called an alien resident card. It's like those cards where they like you have to point like that at the picture. It's so weird.
Yeah.
And he was close to getting his naturalization. I think it was about a couple of years away. His dad did a couple of sketchy stuff, and the government went after him. And mom got spooked, took the kids off, and back to Gaza they go.
That sucks.
And yeah, that's honestly heartbreaking. When I learned about that, I was like pissed. And they were able to retrieve his original resident alien card during the war when his mom came out in like May or April. He left Gaza in 2018. Interestingly enough, he has his LPR card. He never knew that he had it. He went to the embassy in Tel Aviv and he got a B1 B2. He was not asked about his LPR status whatsoever. He entered the States in 2018.
So in other words, just real quick, in other words,
yeah,
on his B1 B2 application, if they asked, "Did you ever have a green card, or did anybody ever file for a green card?" he would have said no.
I don't know what he said on his DS-160, unfortunately.
Okay.
He probably even forgot that he had a green card that was like 26 years ago or something like that.
Okay.
So he came to the States as a B1 B2, no questions asked at the port of entry, no questions at Tel Aviv, and he then left to Canada after a couple of weeks. But now he has his green card with him, and he wants to visit that aspect of becoming an LPR. I know that's so far-fetched, 26 years and all that. But how should he proceed, knowing that the embassy may not even know he's the same person? Or does he go to the port of entry and then tries his luck? They put him in removal proceedings. How does that work? Like,
where is he right now?
He's in Toronto, Canada, where I am.
And he wants to come to the United States and try his luck? Is that what you're saying?
In a way, yes. Like bring back his LPR status. I know that it doesn't expire unless a judge revokes it, from what I understand.
Well, but you can abandon your residency. And
yeah, but
hold on. And we can't forget that he applied. He got his green card based on asylum, and then he went back to Gaza.
That was a few years after, yeah. But in Gaza, every few years things change.
Go back for a day. It doesn't matter. So overall, if you're asking me, Jim, do I think this guy's going to get allowed entry into the United States? No. Jim, do you think that if this guy tries to revive his lawful permanent resident status based on 26 years ago? No. Jim, do you think if he enters the United States on some kind of a visa and marries a U.S. citizen, do you think he'd get a green card? Maybe. We have to go and look at everything else. But I think nothing from before is alive. I think the stuff from before is dead.
Sounds good. This is a very dangerous subject, like it can really change his life. So he needs to proceed with caution, especially at the port of entry. Do you think if they decide to put him in removal proceedings, he'll be put in detention?
I think there's a good chance. Are you saying that right now he has a valid visit visa to the United States?
No, his B1 B2 on his Palestinian travel document expired in 2019, but he's applying for Canadian.
So how the hell is he going to answer?
Sorry?
How the hell is he going to enter if he doesn't? He's got nothing. He's got no basis to enter the United States.
No, for sure, but he has his original green card. Is what I'm trying to say. He's going to enter as an LPR. Yeah.
Oh, I think they'll put him in removal.
Okay, because he has his card. He got it like physically in hand. So that's what I was going to say.
I believe they would put him in. I mean, maybe there's a 20% chance for him to come in, but if he comes in, I think there's 20% chance they let him in, 60% chance they don't let him in and put him in removal, and then a smaller chance they throw him in jail and put him in removal.
Gotcha. So it's pretty risky, pretty much. Like I would say
go. Word I would say is dumb.
He's becoming a Canadian citizen soon, though. So even visiting the States.
So he should be happy about that, and then just enter as a Canadian.
B1, B2 it is. Then there's just that's it. Say goodbye to the LPR. Honestly, I blame the mom more than anything, but it was their call,
Yeah.
I guess. I do have another question, if that's okay. I'll try to make it quick.
Quick.
Yeah. So I just to preface, I got selected for the DV 2025. I told you about it before. I have an
Nice.
interview in Montreal, your favorite consulate, DS5 F35 everywhere. But so the F2A category is absolutely depressing. I'm in the age where I am looking for a spouse. I come from a Muslim and a cultural background. Given that you are married to Amani, I'm sure you have cultural exposure on how things go, Middle
Sure.
Eastern marriages. So I'm doubting myself. My interview is like 5-6 months away. If I find someone and I get married to them and add them on my application just to try and save myself from the F2A headaches that takes like 4 to 5 years is absolutely insane.
Hold on. F2A is going a lot faster now. It's still 2 or 3 years, but it's faster.
Oh, because I saw the final action is like 2020.
The problem is, final action date's still a couple of years. You're right. There's a gnat around here. I'm trying to grab it.
Like 4 or 5 years, or add her now in a couple of months.
But here's what you have to understand. You have to understand that DV winners adding a spouse between the time they get selected and the time of their interview or whatever, that's like high on their list of fraud checkers.
Yeah.
So I understand the desire to want to avoid the pain of the final action date on F2A, but I think your chances of getting your DV visa drop precipitously if you play games with getting married someone who, as of right now, you don't even know.
Exactly. I understand
even with the cultural stuff.
Yeah, I agree, to be honest. Even though I'm 100% sure that my relationship, if it exists, is going to be genuine, legally, emotionally, and spiritually. But I understand from the DOS's point of view, they're not going to like it.
Yep.
Especially Montreal, yeah. Especially my background too. So I was not going to do it either way, but I wanted to have your take on it. Better be proactive than reactive.
Yep.
Really appreciate it. One final thing, since I'm obviously, if it doesn't work, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do F2A if the foreign national, my spouse is a foreign national. For the advanced parole, if I get her an advanced parole, say for a year, can I apply for another advanced parole, let's say midway through, so that by the time the first advanced parole expires, she can get another one, so on and so forth? Is that something that can be technically allowed or possible, or every time you
advanced parole? What are you talking about?
So if we go, for example, an adjustment of status in the States under F2A.
So just to be clear, so you get your green card through DV, you come to the United States, then you happen to marry somebody who you then apply for a green card for?
Correct.
This person would be in valid immigration status?
Yes.
Because if they're not, then you as a green card holder couldn't sponsor them and have to wait to become a citizen, right?
Yes. Yeah, I understand that. That's actually the question. As a green card under F2A for the foreign
national. Again, we're so down the hypothetical trail, but
exactly, it's just hypothetical.
If I get a diversity visa, if I go to the United States, if I find someone to marry, and if they don't have a green card.
Exactly. So many ifs. So many ifs.
And if my aunt were a man, she'd be my uncle. So if we get married and I apply for her, and then what are you asking about advanced parole?
So the question is technical, really, is can someone apply for an advanced parole while they have their own advanced parole that is expiring in a few months, for example, to save the processing time? So I have an advanced parole for a year, for example, it's expiring in 12 months, but the processing time for another advanced parole.
You're talking about the spouse now?
Yes.
How do they already have? You're saying if I have advanced parole and it's about to expire, can I apply for one early?
Yes.
Yes, you can.
Okay, that's just the question.
I think it's like 90 days or something.
Yeah, I just heard you mention it's like 7-8 months, and that's what I've been hearing. So
right, but also I think they're giving advanced parole for more than 1 year now.
Yeah. So if let's say the spouse of the foreign national gets an advanced parole for a year, they don't want to wait another year after the first year. They want to apply midway through for another one. They save some time. That's the idea of the question.
Good seeing you, Munzir. I'm gonna let you go.
Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. You're awesome. Have a good one.
See ya. Yep. Chris is here. Hi, Chris.
Hi, Jim. Can you hear me?
I hear you. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks.
So I am an American citizen who filled out the I-130 petition for my wife in Mexico.
Okay.
And I was looking to move there. Is there anything against me getting, well, I'm going to get my dual citizenship too. Is there anything against me getting my dual citizenship with Mexico and then using the dual citizenship to live in Mexico while we wait for an approval from the USCIS? Is there?
How far along in the process are you, Chris? Like, did you just file the I-130? Is it almost done at USCIS? How long is it?
I submitted the paperwork July the 12th last year.
Oh, so it's almost ready to be approved.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I suppose it is if you say so.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing usually about 12 to 14 months. So you're pretty darn close. So if I were you, what I would do, okay, so when the U.S. citizen wants to go live overseas, there's some things we need to talk about or think about. Number one is, what are we going to do with our house and our domicile? Are we going to keep our American address?
Right. That was another thing I was going to ask you about changing my address from U.S. to Mexico.
So I think
Yeah.
that would be risky. I think you'd want to. If it's me, what I'm thinking is, okay, my address that I put on the I-130 is 1234 Arch Terrace, and so when I get about to go to another stage, so you have two more months or so at USCIS. Then after that, your case will get sent to the National Visa Center, and then you'll have to pay some more fees. You'll have to submit the DS-260 and a bunch of evidence, including your financial stuff. So when I hear you talking about moving to Mexico, I would want you to maintain a U.S. residence and to continue to use that address as your official USCIS and State Department address. I wouldn't want you to start messing around with some address in Mexico where they're never going to be able to find you. I mean, the good thing is, when you get to the State Department, almost everything's electronic. There won't be much paper stuff, but I want you to keep a U.S. address. And then the other question is, are you going to be the only sponsor? Are you having a co-sponsor, or what's the deal?
I was going to see about me being the sponsor, but I'm not sure I make enough money, so I may have to ask somebody to be the sponsor for me.
So you have to be the first sponsor because you're the spouse. So if on your taxes for each of the last 3 years, unless you have kids or other dependents, if you made $30,000 each of the last 3 years, then you won't need a co-sponsor. Otherwise, you're going to need a co-sponsor. And what'd you say?
I was just saying I may not need a co-sponsor in that case. Then.
Good. So then the last thing is, so we want you to keep, even if you go live in Mexico, I want you to come back maybe once a year, see your family, keep your connections. And then the most important thing, we're in July right now. So if I'm you, the one thing is, you might want to think about hiring a lawyer at this stage, because if you're going to be out of the country, you might want someone here monitoring the situation for you, especially if you are planning to give up that American address. At least having an attorney keep track of everything would be helpful. But you need to think about your income, because what could happen is you could qualify this year, but if you go live in Mexico for the rest of this year and for 6 or 7 months next year, then you might not make enough money at the time that she has her interview. And they might say, hey, is Chris still working? Where's his employment records? We need to see his 2024 taxes. And that's really the only way where things could, the main way where things could sort of go sideways for you.
Right. I honestly don't want to move there. I've been waiting for so long. I mean, it feels like it's been a while, but I just been waiting for so long, and I just be with her already, or I want us to be together.
Yeah, I would make sure I make enough money in 2024, and I wouldn't leave until I get my National Visa Center stuff squared away, unless you're going to hire a lawyer. But if you're going to do it yourself, I wouldn't leave until, like I said, a month or two, USCIS is going to approve that I-130. Then you're going to go to the National Visa Center, and I would want to get all that stuff started before you go live in Mexico, unless you're going to hire a lawyer.
So from what I understand, since I'm a U.S. citizen, and when the I-130 is going to be approved, there's instantly a visa, right? So all I got to do is fill out the paperwork, and from what I understand, there's instantly a visa for a spouse of an American.
In a way, that's right. In other words, there's no cap on the number of visas. That's true, but you're still talking 3 or 4 or 5 months at the National Visa Center, and then you're waiting for Juarez to get an embassy slot, and that could be another year.
Okay.
So if I'm you, what I'm thinking is, I really want to be with my wife. I really want to see her a lot. I'm going to make sure I make enough money in 2024. I'm going to make sure I make enough money in 2025, and I'd figure out a way to come back and forth and make enough so that I can be the sponsor and still see her for lots of the time, but not necessarily move there wholesale.
Okay, I was also thinking hopefully I could find a remote job so I could work remotely,
That'd be
making
great.
US dollars and
That'd be
continue
great.
making.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
Okay. So maybe your advice sounds like it would be just wait until the approval, which you're saying it should be very soon. It
I
should
think
be
very
within the.
soon.
Okay, because I've been seeing for the past over a month, it says, we're sorry, but your case is taking longer than expected. There's always a countdown, and then it'll go to, we're sorry, your case is taking longer than expected.
I would say check the countenance for the next 10 minutes and everybody will tell you about what it is. I believe it's about 14 months right now. So I think you're pretty close.
Okay, I've actually saw that on the USCIS website at about 14 months. So.
That's what we're seeing.
Okay, I think that's it. I really appreciate you taking my questions and helping me with answers.
Good luck, Chris. Sorry it's taking so long, bud. See ya.
Thank you.
All right, all right. Momtez is here. Hi, Momtez.
Hi, I'm good. Can you please turn off the camera?
Of course. There you go.
Thank you. So I applied for my green card based on my employment base, EB2 NIW, and it's been pending for about 16 months this month. So I was planning to file the lawsuit last month and I contacted your office. But before I signed the contract agreement, I got an RFE on my account. And I have two derivative applicants with me, my husband and my child. So since I got the RFE, so I decided not to file the lawsuit that time. And I responded the RFE, it was medical RFE. And it was delivered on the field office on June 26th. On 15th July this month, I saw that the USCIS status saying the RFE response of my application has been received. And within a few minutes, I saw my husband and my child's case got approved. But they are the derivative applicant. I saw in the policy manual that the derivative cannot be approved before primary applicant. So I'm concerned what should we do at this time, and my application is still pending as of now. You're muted.
Thank you. like everybody else. That's because I was coughing. Hold on, I got to do it again. Is the final action date current? Has it been current the whole time for you?
It was retrogressed in May to August last year, but since September 1, we are current.
Okay, and what's the date? When did you notice that your spouse and child had been approved?
July 15th.
So 8 days ago.
Yeah, and their card is supposed to be delivered tomorrow.
So that's what I would wait for. If their card comes tomorrow, then that's something really weird. Okay. So you might be back in the, hey, let's sue them line, or you might just wait a little bit and see what happens. I mean, it's entirely possible. There are two things possible, Momtez. Number one, it could be that nobody's case is approved and nobody's getting their green card tomorrow. I guess there's three things that are possible. That's possibility number one. The third thing is everybody's case is approved and they just didn't update yours online. And then the third thing that's possible is they are really, really dumb and they did go ahead and approve your husband and your daughter and your case isn't approved. One thing that I've noticed, I've heard a couple of different immigration lawyers talking about lately is they've had, and this happened once to us too, people have getting their green cards approved and then they're getting a notice that it was sent in error. So in theory, that could happen with your spouse and child if yours isn't approved. So here's what I would say. We had good news on 2 out of 3 cases 8 days ago. Let's give it 6 weeks, see what actually happens on all 3 cases. And then if any of the 3 of you don't have your green card, like let's say by the end of August, then call me and we'll go back to Suna.
Okay.
All right.
So, okay. So I just want to make sure I am getting all these things correct. So if they're getting their green card by tomorrow, I saw that in the USPS informed delivery. So if they get that tomorrow, so what will be their status? I mean, my husband was using his EAD. Even I am using my EAD. All of our F1 and F2 status were expired a few months back.
Yeah. So you've been riding the EAD off the approved I-140 while
Yes.
waiting for the green card. Yeah. I don't know what the legal. That would involve research and a FOIA to see what his actual status is at that point. If he's holding a green card in his hand, then there's certainly an argument that he's a lawful permanent resident. But if your case is not approved, then who the hell knows? So again, unless you're gonna do a Freedom of Information Act request right now for each of the 3 files, which I wouldn't do if they're this close to adjudicating, because that takes things out of line. Like I said, I'm not going to be able to tell you with certainty what anybody's status is, even if they get the green cards tomorrow. So I would, again, just let things settle and see where we are at the end of August. Because
Okay.
no one can tell you definitively what the status is if they made a mistake.
So if by any chance my case is like approved later date and they have the earlier start date of like this residency date or approval date, what will be our steps?
If it's a big discrepancy, I would I might suggest suing them to clean it all up.
Okay.
Or let's say this is what happens. Let's say tomorrow your daughter and your husband get their green cards and you don't by the end of August. Then what I would say is we want to sue them on the delay for your green card, and we want to make sure that your husband and child's green cards are valid.
Okay.
i.e. ask them if necessary. If we think that the derivative ones can't be valid because they were approved before yours was, then the lawsuit would say, hurry up and finish Momtez's case. And oh, by the way, you messed up on the husband and the kid. You got to fix all of it.
Okay. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Good luck. Hopefully everyone gets your green cards tomorrow. Let me know. Okay.
Sure. Thank you.
All right. Bye. Marcel is here. What up?
Hello, hey, how you doing?
I'm good.
All right, I got a question about a K1, K2 visa. My beneficiary, she went for an interview, and no problem at all. They believe our relationship was good, and he had no question. The K2, the 2 children they're not children. They're like, one is 20, the other one is 19. So he asked about them, and then the other child is less than 16. He's with the father. So, we didn't think anything about that. We say in the future, we'll bring him over, once he turned 18, everything like that. So the officer asked her the school he was going to, and on the DS-160, I put the school and everything on there. So when they were in the interview, she said, her son said, oh, well, dad switched to school. I don't know if that triggered a DNA test, because he asked to do a DNA test. So we went on getting a DNA test done on them. And I sent, I did everything they asked me to do, where I sent the kid from over here to Lagos. It's Lagos, Nigeria. And they've had it now on the paperwork on the 221G. It says it'll take 6 to 12 weeks. It's been 14 weeks, and we haven't heard anything. Even though I saw some of your videos where you said congressionals is not going to do anything. So I'll try it anyway, So they looked into it. They did respond within 30 days. All they said was, hey, the testing queue was kind of long, and we will get to them because this is very important that we get this test and everything done. My question is, I wonder what really triggered that. And the medical exam is going to expire in September. If it goes past that, is that something that we could sue for, or we just got to wait forever?
So everybody's overseas. Your fiance and her children are overseas.
Yes.
And your fiance has how many children? 3?
3.
And 2 of them want to come.
Yes.
Were both of them under the age of 18 when your relationship formed with the person that you're applying for?
No.
They were over 18.
Yes.
Okay, so that might be problematic. I don't know. I'd have to check. For I-130s, the relationship has to be formed before the children are 18. I don't know that to be the case. Whose DNA were they checking?
Hers. Look, they're checking to see if she's the mother, which I'm like, what? I've never heard that before. Yeah, they're checking to see if she's actual mother. Because to be honest with you, she's very fair skinned and they're very, very dark skinned. So I'm like, well, maybe he think you might be trying to pull some mess here. So I'm thinking maybe that's what triggered it or something, possibly.
Is mom's name on all their birth certificates?
Yes.
were their birth certificates all created at the time that they were born, or were they created like 10 years later?
At the time they were born.
That's good. So that seems silly. So
Yes.
when was the actual interview for everybody?
It was on April the 12th.
Yeah, I think I'd give them 6 months with the DNA because those things do get backlogged. So I would say if you don't have something by September or October, call me back and we'll think about sooner.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Bye, Marcel. See you, buddy.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Melvin is here. Hello, Melvin.
Hey, Jim, I have a quick question. I have a BAWA case, and it's been 2 years and 3 months. I have an emergency. I'm from Honduras, and I have an emergency over there. I'm trying to see how I can expedite my case, but I don't know if you do those cases, if you can help me with, or I have to do that by myself.
Yeah,
Any,
send me an email with everything, and I'll look it over, and I'll get back to you tomorrow.
okay, all right, that sounds good.
Bye,
Thank you.
buddy. See ya. All right. Ezra's been waiting. Hello, Ezra.
Hey Jim, how you doing?
Great. How are you doing?
Doing very good, thanks. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
So I know I've followed you for quite a while, and I know that you don't do many non-immigrant cases, but I thought I'd just ask a question if you're willing.
Go for it.
So I'm currently on my OPT, a student. I finish in January next year. I'm currently working, and I am hoping to travel the US when I finish. I know that I've got a 60-day grace period, but my brother also graduates in May, and my whole family's coming from overseas. And so I was trying to see what options I have to kind of stay for that time. I would have made enough money so that I can support myself until my family comes. And so I was wondering if I'm able to do a change of status from a student visa to a B1 visa. And I know you've I watched one of your videos saying that it's not a good thing to go from a B1 to an F1, but I wanted to ask if I can go from F1 to a B1 and what that can kind of look like. What did you suggest?
What are you going to do after the 6 months? So what we're probably going to do is right towards the end of your OPT, like the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You file an I-539. This would be a change of status that I would actually approve of, depending on what your long-term goals are.
Yes.
Immigration-wise in the U.S.
Okay. So my plan is after the 6 months to go home, back to Zimbabwe, which is where I'm originally from and where I currently hold residence. And that would be my eventual goal. There's like.
So I guess would you be planning on applying for any future immigration benefits, say in the next 5 years in the United States?
I'm trying to think. I mean, for example, if I meet someone and want to get married, would that be a case?
That one I wouldn't worry about. That would be okay. Anything other than that?
Yeah, no. I was trying to apply for the H-1B, but currently it's not looking like I can because I can only apply in March for that H-1B, which I could technically do, but I don't know if I can if I switch to a B1.
Yeah, the employer can still. I mean, if you have an employer that wants to sponsor you, I would. Well, if in that case, so then we might want to be a little more creative. We might want to try. One, we have to check, Ezra, is applying for change of status while in the grace period. Is that grace period considered a bridge between your F1 and then your B1? Could you get it all the way to October for if you get selected in the lottery? That might be a stretch. That's a knowable thing. If you email me that, I can let you know that. But that might make us want to apply for your change of status at the end of your grace period, as opposed to at the end of if you really have a serious employer. If not, then I would just focus on filing for the change, getting extension. So, I mean, they might not even rule before your brother graduates, but at least you'd be here, and then you could just go. And, so the reason I'm asking all this is because if you think you're going to get a visit visa 2 years from now, and you didn't leave on your F1 at the time and you apply for a change, sometimes they don't like that. And it's not so much that you did anything wrong. It's just like, we don't feel like giving you a visa the next time you ask.
I see. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. And so, if I just exclude the H-1B for now, I can apply for this, the change of status, let's say you said 2 weeks before my OPT ends, which is the 14th of January. So that takes it to the beginning.
2 or 3. Yeah.
2 or 3.
It'd be nice to get the receipt notice back before you actually expire. So maybe even a month.
Okay, yeah, that's completely fine. And then, for example, if I don't get a notice back, let's say by May, and I leave the country to go home, would I have affected my status? Would I have been here?
Just in the way that even if they approve it or deny it, the issue isn't so much whether they approve or deny it. The issue is that you said that when you were done with your studies and done with your OPT that you would leave on time, and instead you pulled this maneuver to try to stay longer. So whether it gets approved or denied, I don't think it really matters. It's all about the next time you apply. That's all.
Oh, I see. So it can, if it gets denied, it will affect my future, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And if it gets approved, then I could technically stay if they approve it 6 months, but then they say, okay, we've approved it, but you stayed for 6 months, so you have to go home.
Yeah, sometimes they approve it the day before the 6 months are up and say it's approved for 1 day.
Oh, I see. Okay. So the only thing is it's going to affect my future. Okay. Well.
But if you marry a U.S. citizen, then that doesn't matter. It's only if you're trying to get another visit or some kind of investor visa or some other.
Okay, so if I'm trying to apply for a fiance visa or anything like that, it's not going to affect that. Okay. Well, thanks, Jim. I appreciate your time.
All right, Ezra. See you, buddy. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. That'll do it for today's show. I'll be back tomorrow. What time tomorrow, Huli? Let's take a look. Oh, there it is. 4 o'clock tomorrow. Oh, yeah, I got a busy day tomorrow. So 4 o'clock tomorrow, we'll be back in the studio, and I'll do that show from home. Have a great night, everybody. If you are not on our text line, text the word show to 314-470-3300. That way you'll get a text whenever we go live. We'll send that out tomorrow. That's Hina's job that she helps us with, one of the many things she does. Huli and I will be back tomorrow at 4. I'll try to answer all of your immigration law-related questions. If you are thinking about hiring us, just give us a call, 314-961-8200, or email us, info@hackingimmigrationlaw.com. If you're just looking for free resources, we got a bunch of them. You can join our Immigrant Home Facebook group. We're way up over there. We have thousands of members in there talking about the immigration process. We also have 2,000 YouTube videos and 600 episodes of this show. So you can really learn a lot about immigration if you just check in on the YouTube channel. Thank you, everybody, and have a good night. I'm great about that, other than trying to help people who are in a state of invasion.